Hello, everyone. It's a Monday in Paris, believe it or not, and we got another episode of the Earful Tower for you. It is brought to you by French Today. They're audiobooks that'll help you speak French like a French person. I'll be talking about them a little at the end of the episode, plus a little bit of Gmail. What's Gmail? Well, my last name's Oliver G. I get emails from you guys. I'm going to call it Gmail. Geemail. I'm going to start doing that regularly because I rather enjoy it. But anyway, today we have a guest called Rebecca Plotnick. You maybe have heard about her. She runs the website, I should say the hit website, Everyday Parisian, or Everyday Parisian, if you say it in an American accent. We talk all about photography. She was in town fairly recently. You might have seen on Instagram pictures and stories, me and her taking pictures of cherry blossoms. If not, you should follow us both on Instagram right this very second to get flooded with pink cherry blossoms. But she's also in town right now, Monday, as I sit here in Paris, and I'm just texting with her as we speak about doing a walk show. So if you're not a Patreon supporter of the show, now is the time. But as for today, it's going to be me and Rebecca talking a little bit about how to photograph Paris. We discuss sort of the best angles, the best time to go out to certain places. She's a photographer. She gets it. She'll explain it. You'll hear it. And hopefully you'll enjoy it. So sit back, get ready. This is the Earful Tower talking with Rebecca Plotnick from Everyday Parisian. Let's do it. Rebecca Plotnick.
Yes.
Welcome to the studio.
Thanks for having me.
It felt like a roll call there, didn't it?
It did.
You know, Rebecca Plotnick.
I'm here.
Yes. And you are are you better known as Rebecca Plotnick or better known as Everyday Parisian?
I feel like now better as Everyday Parisian.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What happens when people stop you in the street? Because I know it happens. I just witnessed it.
It does happen. I mean, I'm really grateful that people trust me and they feel comfortable enough to approach me.
Right. But what do they say? Do they go, Rebecca? Or do they go, Everyday?
Everyday Parisian.
Is that what they say?
Yeah. That's what happened like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, huh? Not that she stopped you, but it's weird that they know you by your brand.
It is
and not
weird.
your name.
I know. It is weird. It's because for my photography, people know me as my name because I'm branded as Rebecca Plotnick. So the blog is different and it's Everyday Parisian. So it's strange to have two brands, I guess.
Should we tell the story of what happened just 5 minutes ago?
Oh, at Hollybilly?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So, well, I can tell the Hollybilly bit and then you can take over.
Okay, sure.
We had food in Hollybilly and then...
It was cute as I was leaving, just outside the door, this woman grabbed me and she's like, "Are you Everyday Parisian?" And I said, "Of course."
You should have said, "Aren't we all?"
It was cute because they literally went there because of my recommendation.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
She said it was on the list and she follows the blog, so she had to go there.
Do you remember her name?
Kay.
Kay, if you're listening, thanks for following Everyday Parisian's tips. And I hope you enjoy the Earful Tower episode with her in it.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Now, you mentioned something, the
What?
elephant in the room, photography.
Oh, yes.
So
Because the minute I walked in, I was like, "Do you mind if I take a photo from your window?"
that's right, you were very quick.
Yes.
You went straight to the window and started snapping away like
Yes.
a paparazzo at Fashion Week.
I know.
Yeah.
But with rooftops, it's like rooftops and cherry blossoms, anything pink, really.
Is that I was looking at your site before you came in and you had a picture of a pink car.
Yes, that's like one of my most popular
Is
sellers.
it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll have to link to that one below.
That would be
What is that?
awesome.
What is that? Like a mini minor or something? Morris
It is
Minor?
like a pink mini, I think.
Yeah.
But it was just so weird. It was you rarely find that, so I found it parked on the street.
And then what? You went and took a pic and then Bob's
Yeah.
your uncle? Is that how it works?
Sometimes I can gauge if something is going to do well. Like I've been shooting since 2010.
Mm-hmm.
So I came to Paris on with airline miles from my previous job, and
Right.
I was laid off. And I had like just a little bit of money, not that much. I
Right.
could barely afford anything here. And I just started shooting and came home, put it on Etsy, and it just started into a business pretty quickly after. So I've just been able to find like what my audience would like and try to deliver that to them. But I also go after what I like and want to share that with them.
So you got a good eye for Paris, haven't you?
I think
if you make money out of it, you must have a good eye for it.
But I feel like, I love the city, so it's very easy. It never seems like work.
Yeah.
the days go by really quickly.
So tell me, I mean, it's very fortunate that I've got you in the studio because you're going to teach me today how to photograph Paris.
Yes.
And what we did is before we hit record is we jotted down a few notes, but it's going to be more sort of tips and information. But also to all the listeners at home who are, who come to Paris and they're standing there with their phone or their camera and they're thinking, I just don't know where to start,
Yes. It can be overwhelming.
Yeah. Where would you start? Eiffel Tower.
Eiffel Tower?
Yeah. Let's be honest here. Let's forget about everyone listening. Do you care about the Eiffel Tower?
Of course.
Yeah.
Right now,
Why are you winking? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so right now I'm staying with Paris Perfect, and I have a really nice view of the Eiffel Tower from my window. So it sparkles every hour on the hour.
Isn't that cool, by the way?
It's super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm working in like the main room at night, just catching up on emails and whatnot, and like every hour I look up and there it's sparkling for 5 minutes. So.
You know what I do is I try and if I got a tourist in town, I try and time it at night to show them the Eiffel Tower and make it look like I didn't know it was going to happen. You ever done that?
No.
So you're standing there and you go, oh, there's a really good view just around the corner. So this is like, because it's so on the hour, like you said. So you go there 20 seconds before.
Right.
And you go, there it is. And they go, oh, they go, oh yeah, it's so beautiful. And then bam, it's like 10 times better.
See, I never thought about that. I always give the like fact that, did you know it sparkles?
You're playing it all wrong, Rebecca.
So is that like a tip for tourists or a tip if I like had a date?
No, I think you can read into it how you wish. Okay, so Eiffel Tower is a good place to start.
I think Trocadero is like a great spot. But if you're going to shoot Trocadero, go like super early in the morning.
Well, that's funny that you say that because that was one of the first tips on the list. Let's get into this list.
Okay.
One of the tips was get up early.
Yes.
And what's the process behind
Well,
this?
not everyone's an early riser like me. I wake up naturally like really early, but especially here in Paris, I like want to wake up before the sun rises. So you can catch the sunrise on the Seine, which is really nice. The light is always amazing.
So what are you trying to do? I've never been down to the Seine at sunrise.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Oh no, I have.
By like mistake?
Yeah.
Or you hadn't gone to bed yet?
No. I did a sunrise walk at the Eiffel Tower.
Oh.
But it was more about the Eiffel Tower. I didn't even focus on the Seine. I didn't even look at it.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
the sunrise on the Seine is like one of my favorite things.
Well, tell me
to do.
about it. Why do you like it?
It's so calming. It's beautiful because you get to watch like just the light change as the sun rises. Like you can literally, if you walk on the Seine, like by like right in the middle, close to the Louvre, you can see on both sides like the light come up. And
What do you mean if you walk right in the middle?
well, on the bridge.
Okay, yeah,
on the
okay.
bridge.
I thought you knew
Sorry.
something I didn't.
Mentally, I'm like thinking
Yeah.
that I'm just like on the bridge. Yeah.
And then, so if you can imagine the sun is rising, you look away from the sun to get the nice picture.
So you're looking towards the sun actually.
Okay.
Yes, as the sun rises.
Yeah.
So if you get there really early, you will literally see the sunrise. If the light is nice.
Yeah.
Like on a stormy day like today, probably not the
The
best.
weather is ridiculous at the moment, isn't it?
I'm not going to complain because
Why not?
I'm here and I'm
Yeah.
really lucky.
Because you're Chicago based, aren't you?
I'm Chicago based, but I'm here a lot.
You're Chicago based / Paris based.
I'm like a part-time Parisian.
That sounds quite nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best of both worlds. I don't deal with some of the bad stuff that you guys deal with as expats.
No, I like things like admin and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like all the paperwork.
Oh man, don't even get me started.
I know. And the taxes.
I did an episode recently with Dave Leibovitz, the chef, and he said something good. He said, we sort of discussed how we were sick of hearing the long admin stories people have, these nightmare stories. And he said it's a bit like a dream. You don't always want to hear someone's dream. And I was like, yeah, I think you're right there, David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, David. Oh. Okay, so get up early is imperative for catching not just the good light, but no tourists, I imagine.
Exactly. The city, I mean, it doesn't start moving until like 9-ish, 10-ish. So if you can get somewhere before. In the summer, the sunrise is like so early, like 6:30.
Do you still get up for this? I mean...
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I know.
You mustn't be much of a night person then. No?
Here, I'm up until like probably 1 or 2.
Really?
Yeah. It's hard. My days here are super long because I have work in the US and then I have work here.
Right.
So to get in touch with emails and to catch up once I'm back at home or wherever I'm staying and to like kind of log everything I need to do for the day. I look at the clock and it's like 1, 2 in the morning.
My goodness.
Yeah.
So you're like everyday Parisian and then every night American.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. But when I'm home, it's the opposite. Like I'll wake up at 6-ish and email between 6 and 9. And then you guys are 7 hours ahead of us. So I need to get all my work done with you guys first thing in the morning.
Yeah, right. Goodness me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bit complicated, Rebecca, to be honest. What's the blue hour?
The blue hour is the magic hour before sunset.
I've never heard of this before.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No, you've got to be kidding.
Okay, I'm kidding. No, I haven't actually. Blue hour. Why is it called the blue hour?
Literally, and everything is blue. It has like a blue hue to it.
Is this something that everybody knows? Am I the only one that doesn't know blue hour?
I don't know. We should do a poll on Instagram and see if everyone
Yeah,
knows.
that's what we'll do.
I feel like I should take you on a walk during blue hour.
I'd love to. Yeah. Yep.
It's like one of the most magical times because my favorite bridge is Pont Alexander III, which I walked over today to finally meet you, but I took a long walk. I had a few detours.
Just to add, you say finally. It's not that I was late or something.
No.
That,
you were actually on time, and so was I.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
were like very prompt.
It's that because you're living a part-time life in Chicago and Paris, is that we always miss each other.
We do.
For years now.
I know. We've been messaging on Instagram
Yeah.
for like a while now.
So you walked across Pont Alexandre III.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorite bridges to shoot during the blue hour. So it's really interesting. The sun will be like setting behind the Eiffel Tower. So you'll have a little bit of the Eiffel Tower in the shot. And you need to stand towards the Louvre to the back.
Yep.
And as the sun sets, the sun will illuminate the lanterns on the Pont Alexander III. But here's the thing. The lights aren't on yet. The magic glow from the sun will make them like a gold color.
Really?
Yes.
As in, do you have to stand so the sun is coming in, literally the sun is behind the lamppost, or is it just okay.
The sun is like going behind the Eiffel Tower and it's like setting, so it comes through.
I've gotcha.
Yes.
And those lanterns, I actually got a picture of it right now. They're beautiful, they're like really beautiful. Like big, I don't know, I guess they're steel, like 4 or 5 lantern bits on the top of it.
Exactly, but they're not any color. They're like black. They're black lanterns, but literally the sun will illuminate them. And then if you stay there long enough, the lights will turn on. So you'll see the lights turn on. I have photos of it, but it's really cool.
If you're
gonna see the blue hour. And I also like watching as like the sun sets, the lights turn on in all the buildings.
Yeah.
Like, it's so cool. That's like, I don't know. It's just it's a small moment of the day, but watching those like all the lights pop up in the city is really cool.
And can you photograph this kind of stuff on just on a regular smartphone?
The iPhone's great if you have it. I think the best camera that you have is the one that's on you.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like always being open to capture something.
And what do we think about, so I have an iPhone. We're not sponsored by iPhone. We can say whatever we want. If you don't like it, you don't have to. But I have an iPhone and there's, what about the filters? What do you make of the filters?
Don't use filters.
Well, I never used them until the other night I was up at the Sacré-Cœur, put on a bit of Vivid Warm.
Is that a thing?
Oh, yeah.
What's Vivid Warm?
Well, let me teach you something. I don't know what it does. It just makes it vivid and warm. And let me get up a picture while we're speaking. You tell me this isn't a nice picture, Rebecca. So it was kind of the sunset hour as well. Let me get this up.
But did you shoot it and then filter it? Or
I did it as I shot it. Okay, look, what do you think of that?
I mean, that's cool.
You don't like it.
So what I would say...
I mean, you really didn't like it.
Okay, no. It's cool. It really is.
Yeah.
I like it. What I would say about filters, I always shoot with my iPhone in the straight camera.
Hang on, say that again, with a straight camera.
Like you want to shoot just with your camera. Don't with the iPhone. Then you can put a filter on it.
Right.
But now you never have a photo of that. It's just filtered.
Oh, yeah, I do, because I
True?
took a picture on every single filter because I was so enamored by the Sacré-Cœur that night.
Okay, we need to talk.
No, that's exactly what we need to do.
I know.
That's perfect.
So what you need to do is shoot it regular
Yeah.
and then filter it.
What about black and white?
I love black and white.
Yeah.
Especially on like these rainy days like this. I just think it like adds an element. I'll tell you a secret, actually.
Oh, it's an Earful Tower scoop.
Well, I don't know.
Here we go, drum roll.
Okay, so I'm doing an exhibition at Pavillon des Lettres. Have you been?
No.
It's like a really nice hotel, 4-star, I think in the 8th, behind Madeleine,
Right
around there.
Cool.
So I've been working with different hotels in the city, whatever. So I'm doing an exhibition with them, and it was cool because I let my audience choose what was gonna hang. So it was between spring or black and white, and my black and whites are going up.
Because of the audience?
It was actually split between the audience. Like, it was so hard. I probably had like 300 responses.
Wow.
Between like Facebook, Instagram, like people writing in.
Yeah.
So to like tally those votes, it was like one's at spring, one's at black and white.
So when is this it's exhibition?
Yes.
When is this?
So I'll be hanging it this week.
Oh,
I actually
this episode will have gone out by then.
No, but it's gonna hang for like 3 months.
Oh wow.
So
cool.
I'm saying if they want to see Paris in black and white, because you just mentioned it,
I certainly did.
they'll be hanging.
Okay.
So it's more like, it's a little architectural, but I like to capture. That's the thing about Paris, is like you can capture these tiny moments, and that's kind of what I do as a photographer instead of the big grand thing. Like you can go to Trocadero and shoot the Eiffel Tower, and that's something that everyone will have like on their iPhone, or like if you go into Paris, you'll have that iconic shot. But I think they're like really cool shots are like discovering Paris and like the hidden spots.
And that's one of your points.
Yes.
In fact, well, I think it's one of your points.
It is one of my
You've just
points.
written "get lost" here.
Yes.
How dare you? But I assume you mean go off the beaten track.
Definitely go off the beaten track. Like on my way here, you had mentioned like directions to get here.
Because we went separately.
We did go
I
separately.
took the scooter.
And I walked.
I didn't have an extra helmet.
No, it's fine.
Would you have got on?
Okay.
No?
Maybe second time meeting.
You know what? Like, it's a real divisive thing, people jumping on the back of a scooter. Like, a lot of people don't want to do it, and then people surprise me by asking.
Really?
I've had listeners who are like, can I come for a ride on the scooter? And I'm like, I don't think I have the right insurance for something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. I prefer to walk.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really, unless I have to take the metro, like if I'm in a bind and I'm running late, which happens. Sometimes it's easier, like Uber with traffic, or take the metro. It's like same time, or like you cut some time off. But the best way to see the city is literally to get lost.
Yeah.
So take a different path. Like even if I'm trying to get to the same destination every single day, I'll take a different street. And if you go down in the morning and you go down in the evening, you're going to see something different.
Yeah.
Because like cafes will open, like windows will open, windows will shut. There's someone standing outside, a bike's parked. There's always something different. So you just like, that's one of the reasons why I like to keep my phone off data. Because if people are texting me or I'm checking emails during the day, then it distracts me from like absorbing all of the different things that Paris has to offer.
How interesting. I've got I agree with you entirely. And even well, last night I had a similar thing happen to me that I was walking. So I live not far from the Moulin Rouge, the cabaret red windmill, for those at home who don't know what I'm talking about. And I was coming back from dinner with my wife, and there was a street just beyond. There's a shop called Castorama. So
I know.
Yeah, okay. And so usually I would turn right at Castorama and go home. And I said to Lena, let's go left and just see what's beyond Castorama. It was a really average-looking street, but I was just curious to see what was there. And as we walk along, all the shops had this, what do you call them, the shutters? Or not shutters, the rolly metal ones,
right,
you know?
Shutters.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know what the French word
No,
is.
me neither. Or the English. But someone had on all of them, and I mean like 10, 20 of them, painted these beautiful, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're like, were they Moulin Rouge kind of things?
Yep. So,
it's so
like,
cool.
I guess 1920s, 30s kind of art of things like the Moulin Rouge dances, or, you know, they kind of just scenes from Paris. And they were, and you wouldn't have seen them in the day because the shop windows would have been open.
Exactly.
So there you go.
There you go. So you've got to go off the beaten
How did you know about that?
Because I can do a shout out to Lauren, my friend Lauren Lubate.
Of course you can do a shout out.
She
Who is it?
showed
Lauren?
me- Lauren Lubate. She used to be on Instagram. I don't know what. I haven't talked to her in a while. But she showed me years ago. That's the cool thing, is like we all find hidden gems and treasures. And then I think with Instagram it's easy because people see it through stories or people will post it. And then you'll want to know, like, where is that?
What did you mean when you were over here, pick your weapon?
Pick your weapon. Well, I'm just saying that not everyone is going to invest in, like, I have a nicer camera. I shoot RAW. It gives you more, like, editing ability. Like, your file is going to be a lot larger.
Okay, I see.
You want that. Especially because I print, like, huge. I can print, like, a 60 by 40.
60 by... So you're
60
holding
inches.
both your hands out.
It's, like the size of, like, a couch.
Yeah. Wow.
My
Hang on, what, you print that?
Yeah, well, I sell my prints. I don't personally print it. I don't have a printer that big, but I have a printer that does that for me.
So people buy your stuff like poster size, basically?
Bigger than poster size. That's like ginormous. Like above like a king size bed,
That's so
a
cool.
fireplace, that sort of thing. Yeah.
That's cool. Are you in any of your pictures that you sell? Would that be weird?
Not in any of them that I sell, but my friend Katie Donnelly, who's amazing, she shoots all me like when I'm here.
Right.
And I'm in them, like in little spots. Like I have a favorite one.
Like Where's Wally or Where's Waldo?
Like a little bit, but she did me in a red dress in Jardin du Luxembourg.
I saw that picture on your site. That was great. Like you were quite a distance away, and it was like Schindler's List. The girl in the red dress.
Yes, it's on my solo Paris blog post, but it's one of my favorite photos because it's me, but you don't like. I know it's me, but not necessarily.
I like that. That's nice.
Yeah,
it's a great pic.
Thank you. I feel like I've been here for so many years, and I like for so long had no photos of myself here.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to challenge myself is like to actually be in photos.
It must be hard as a photographer to be in your own photos.
I'm just not used to seeing myself. Like to do like selfies or videos, like that's my big challenge.
What do you think of selfies? I had a guest in here who shall not be named, and I said, not for any bad reason, but I said, let's do a selfie. And they said, no, not doing a selfie.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not going to guess who that was.
You can if you want. I'm not going to tell you who it was.
No, you know what's funny? Well, I guess it's not funny, but like I don't mind. I'm really weird about like photos of myself or selfies or whatever. Every time I run into someone I like that follows the blog that recognizes me, the first thing I ask, I'm like, do you want to take a selfie?
Kay.
I know.
You did it with Kay. I saw it.
I did it with Kay, exactly.
Yeah.
And I ran into girls at the airport that read the blog. They like found me at the
Does that happen to you a lot when you're in Paris? You get stopped?
Yes.
Yeah.
It does. Like I sat next to someone at dinner and like I started chatting with them and then they're like, wait, I follow you. And they're like, we basically like built their entire like visit on what I say and recommend. Cool. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I guess sometimes I forget that I have, it's really weird to say, but an audience. Like I write as I'm writing to like a friend or my grandmother was really close to me. So I just kind of write as I'm just, it's like one-on-one, and I forget that I have this huge audience that also reads it.
Well, it's kind of like I have this similar thing with the podcast in that I know that people listen to it because similar to you, like you'd see stats and you know there are people, but that doesn't mean you see them, you know?
Right.
So like you know they exist, but it's just not tangible because it's just a number.
Exactly.
And then you meet them, you're like, oh yeah, I think it's quite rewarding.
It's rewarding and it's flattering, I think, because it's just such a unique thing. Like I always want to remain humble and I'm grateful for like everything I have. So to know that a stranger is like taking your tips and valuing what you're giving out, I think is really rewarding.
Keeps you on the edge as well.
Yes.
Don't give bad tips.
No, gosh,
Never.
I really never talk. If I have a bad experience at like a restaurant or a hotel or whatever, I never include it because you can make or break someone's business that way. I mean, I'm not really making money. I'm not getting paid by all these people. It's just like genuinely, I'm like tasting, the food or like staying in a place. So you have to give an honest thing. But if something's not good, then I just don't tell people.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Keep it positive. Spread the good word.
Exactly.
It's like those people that leave negative podcast reviews.
Do people leave
negative?
negative?
Yeah, people do that.
Wait,
I always wonder why they do that.
Does it help when people leave positive reviews for you?
Well, no one really knows. They say people think it does, but there's no one really knows that it actually makes a difference. But I mean, a lot of podcasters out there say leave a positive or leave a review. But why were you gonna get your?
I was gonna plug for you. Is that okay?
Yeah, go on. Yeah, do it.
Okay.
Oh, you mean on yours? I thought you meant now.
No.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was gonna ask people if you enjoy this podcast.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I think it's important. Like, you really can't get... People have written me and they're like, oh, I want to give you, like, a review. I'm like, you can't give it... I don't think you can give a review for a blog.
I think podcast reviews... I think a book review is more helpful to a book than a podcast review is to a podcast. Because I think people will give a podcast a go and have a listen to it, maybe more based on their friend's recommendation than on the reviews that are there. Like if you come to me, Rebecca, and you're like, oh, you've got to hear this podcast, I'd listen to it. I wouldn't go, I'll check the reviews first.
That is true.
Yeah.
I think it just helps boost in the algorithms.
Oh, it's all confusing. I don't know.
But do you know that I'm like a dork about podcasts?
Yeah.
I can call myself a dork because I think I am.
Do you listen to a lot?
I listen to so many
Really?
podcasts, mainly like business podcasts.
Ah, okay.
like-
Well, that makes sense.
And just different ones. Like when I edit at home, when I'm like writing or doing whatever, I listen to a podcast like every day.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know,
And
I got a friend, Richard, who listens to so many podcasts that he listens to them at 1.5 speed, so that he can consume more of them, right?
no way.
And I met him the other day, and he sort of looked a bit confused when I was talking to him, and he goes, man, it's weird to hear you speaking so slowly. Because usually he hears, like, I don't see him that often. He knows me more from the podcast than from.
Does he retain all the information he listens to?
You'd have to ask him.
So interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to allow us to get
I know,
any further
sorry.
off topic because
Yes.
there's one more point that we haven't talked
tell
about.
me what it is.
There's two, actually. There's natural light and go for the unique views. So we're going to have to combine them because time has flown.
Shoot, how did that happen?
Nice.
Because I
We've
got
been
off topic.
We've been talking 30 minutes already. Speeds by.
Okay, natural light is most important, especially like going back to like selfies and stuff. If you are going to take one, go by natural light, the window. Like, it is so important.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So like if you're going to shoot food in a restaurant, right? Because a lot of people come to Paris and they like want to put on their Instagram what they ate. They want to show all their friends, whatever. You want to sit by the window. You want that natural light
So the
coming
window
through.
behind you.
The window, yeah. You want that light coming in because it'll illuminate like everything. Faces, food, all that stuff. If you go into a restaurant that's like dark and it has that yellow light, everything is going to look really yellow and it's just going to be awful. So that's okay. So my day, as far as I shoot, I wake up super early, shoot from sunrise all the way like a few hours past sunrise. So you have that like magical glowy light. If you see my photos, you'll see I basically chase the light. So you've got all that natural. Once the sun is completely up, especially in like spring, summer months when it's like super, super bright, I'll take lunch with friends or meetings or whatever. You do not want to shoot in that like harsh light. It's just everything is going to be like really blown out. You're not going to get good shots. The iPhone will compensate if you're on auto, but it really isn't ideal. Then as like the sun starts to set, so I start on the right bank. This is really interesting. I start on the right bank in the morning and I move all the way to the left bank because the light will end on the left bank.
Makes sense, yes.
So I'll cross the Seine like closer to sunset and literally chase the light all the way to the left bank. And you'll be able to see like the light will illuminate the buildings and the rooftop colors change based on like the light. So you've got like blues and grays now.
That'd be
and
the blue hour.
Yeah, with the blue hour, exactly.
Yeah.
But it really will. It'll change. Like you'll see on like gray days and then like warm, like sunny days. You'll see now how it's like the light will definitely change, and it changes the Eiffel Tower color too. It's really interesting.
Interesting. Okay, and then unique views. We've got to finish on this.
Unique views, like we talked about before, like going off the beaten path. Like you can still find the Eiffel Tower, like in so many unique ways. Besides just doing like Trocadero, or like. People always want to go up to the top. That's usually like one of the questions I get asked the most. Like, how do I get tickets? How do I jump the line to go to the top of the Eiffel Tower? Honestly, if you're on the Eiffel Tower, you're not seeing like one of the most iconic parts of Paris. So you want to find like a unique view, like down Rue Saint Dominique. I was there yesterday. So you'll find like an angle looking at the Eiffel Tower. Just find like different streets that aren't necessarily like the main drags. And try to find like what you're looking for, but in a different way. And what my photography teacher taught me like very, very long time ago when I was in high school is like change your angles. So don't necessarily look at something straight on. That's probably like one of the best tips is like if I look at you straight on, I'm always going to get the same shot. But if you like crouch down or like stand on something, like find like a little step stool or something, you're going to change everything, the whole perspective. So if you want to take a shot of something, like take it straight on and then go left, right, top, bottom. You've got to like see what works best and kind of change your angles to give it a new perspective.
So I'll bring a stool along with me for my next.
Or just stand on someone, jump on someone's back.
It's handy down at the Louvre near the pyramids. They got all those little things you can stand on.
Exactly. Like Palais Royal.
Palais Royal too.
Yes.
Every different perspective point you could hope.
I know because you've got all those like.
You ever climbed the top ones?
I've sat on one of the top ones.
How'd you get
before.
up there?
I think someone helped me get up there. I have a photographer friend that's like super tall, and
Yeah.
they like literally sat me up there. But I have to say, it was like scary. I don't like the grates that are down there.
No, yeah.
I'm always nervous one's just gonna give out.
You could fall through to the underworld.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Palais Royale is like one of my favorite spots, just because it's like a little bit hidden off the beaten path, and then you've got Cafe Kitsune right there. So if I had like a perfect day in Paris, it would involve being there.
Well, that's lovely. Yeah. And Rebecca, we've run out of time, so we can't go on.
Sorry.
But, no, not at all. Interesting conversation. But yeah, thanks for coming in the studio. That was great.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, there you have it. That was Rebecca. I think we're going to go and do a live video. As I said, follow along on Facebook and Instagram for more information about that as it happens. But you know what I noticed, before I get into French today, you know what I noticed the other day is I've done like 25 episodes of this podcast for season 5. And usually when I do 25 episodes, that's what I'd call a season finale, and would move on to the new season where I'd do some kind of little switch to make things a little bit different. But this took me by surprise, to be honest. So this isn't the end of the season just yet, but it must be just around the corner. And I already have a lot of ideas for how to put a little tweak or two into this show to hopefully make it more entertaining and more interesting for you. But I'll give you a little clue. One of the things I have been enjoying is reading out emails, very similar to how I read out reviews, iTunes reviews back at the start. And as I say the word iTunes reviews, I remember I got a funny one this week. So I'm going to read that first, and then I'm going to read out an email. Here's a quick review. 5 stars. Chicago Blues Fade Away with Oliver. Love that. I love, and I've said this so many times, I love to hear where you guys listen from. And here's this review from BurnKrug59 does exactly that. It says, I live and work in Chicago. My commute every day is 1 hour each way. I look forward to Mondays because that's when the Earful Tower with Oliver G releases its latest podcast. The time with Oliver and his guests makes my time fly by. Thank you, Oliver, and the lovely Lena, says BurnKrug59, referring to my lovely wife, Lena. Thanks for the reviews. Like I said, I'm not sure if it actually makes any difference to anything. So if you're feeling in a kind of good mood, leave a review. If you don't, I won't hold it against you. Here's an email from Lexi. Hey, Oliver, my name's Lexi. I've just moved from Sydney to Paris, another Australian. Why, she says? To start a new career in hospitality. And she's not sure exactly what. She says, and to be young, wild, and free in Paris. Why not? Sounds fun. She says she's been listening to the Earful Tower for around 5 months. Now she's a Patreon supporter. Woohoo. And listening to the episodes was so helpful for my move to France, and that now I'm here, it's a wonderful comfort. It's been honestly so great. More than that, I've put your advice into action. Today I downloaded the French Today Intermediate Audiobook Bundle, more on them in a second, and I can't wait to improve my skills. Also, I'm so keen for Slim and the Beast gig on 2nd of May. There you go, Slim and the Beast. There's a little plug for your show. I won't be there, guys, but you should go and check it out. She's referring to the band that did the jingle. Outside of that, I'm now following on social media and learning from most of your guests, including Forrest Collins and David Leibovitz. What legends! You really revealed yourself as an Australian there, Lexi. What legends! David Leibovitz, the chef she's referring to, and Forrest Cocktail Queen Collins. Your contribution to my Parisienne experience has already been priceless. I'm so grateful to have discovered the show. Thanks for being such a fantastic help to this solo, a little confused, and inspired Aussie in Paris. As soon as the next Patreon event is locked in, I'll be there. Good. I'm excited about that, Lexi. She's referring to the Patreon events that I've started doing, the last one being at John Baxter's house for a book club talk. But thanks, Lexi, for that email. That was really lovely. And I'm glad you brought up French Today, because that's exactly what I'm going to talk about now. So on to French Today. If you haven't been listening to this show very carefully, you won't have known that it's got a sponsor, French Today. They do audiobooks. I went with this sponsor for a number of reasons, mainly because I think it's a really good fit for this podcast. If you listen to other podcasts, you'll see that they often do sponsorship for mattresses and insurance and how to build websites and stuff like that. I thought that would just kind of dilute the show. This is interesting, I think, because French Today is doing a really cool thing. They're teaching you French. The woman behind it, Camille, is a lovely woman. She's been on the show a bunch, and she really knows what she's doing. She's got a whole method. Anyway, I believe in the product. I think you guys should too. And most importantly, from your perspective, you get an additional 10% off every purchase of audiobooks if you use this simple website, www.frenchtoday.com/earful4. I say 4 because it's April right now. It'll be 5 in May, 6 in June. But use that, helps them track to see if this is all working, and it seems like it's working so far. But what I'm doing is I'm also doing these audiobooks. I'm experimenting with them, seeing if it can teach me French, and the signs have been extremely positive, as you'll know if you've been listening to these parts of the episode. But this week, I'm just going to point out 4 things I've jotted down from what I've learned from the sort of first half of audiobook 4. All 4 of them are interesting in a different way. Firstly, something I thought I hadn't heard before, and I actually incidentally used it in a conversation with a French guy recently, inadvertently, is I was talking about slang and how when I had a haircut, a guy on the basketball court said to me, he didn't say coupe, which is the word for cut, like have you had a haircut? He said pécu or puku or something like that. I didn't even really hear it, but he did that sort of weird reverse slang that they do sometimes. And I was retelling this story to a French friend who looked so puzzled. He goes, I don't think he said that. And I was like, well, what are you talking about? He said, pécu is slang for toilet paper, which I came across again in the audiobooks from French Today. It's very common slang, writes Camille. See, in all the times that she uses slang or whatever, she explains it in English afterwards. So PQ, like just the letter PQ, toilet paper, very common slang, stands for papier cul, ass paper. The proper word is le papier toilette. So just PQ. So there you go. So I don't know what I was talking about. The guy, when he said that I had a haircut, maybe he was saying something about toilet paper and I just had no idea. Anyway, another 3 things I found interesting. One is faire le queue, which means to wait in line. And it's spelt the same as in queue in English, Q-U-E-U-E. And Camille writes here in the audiobook notes, watch out, I hear too many pronunciation mistakes on this. Le queue is pronounced exactly like que, as in Q-U-E. Je pense que. Beware that le cul, pronounced K-U, means the ass, as we just learned from PQ, papier cul. And then she added, sorry to be vulgar, but it makes for quite an embarrassing mistake, and I don't doubt that at all. So don't forget, guys, don't say that you're making the ass. Say that you are making the Q, faire le queue, and be brave enough to say it. For many years, I was not brave enough to say that. Queue. Another thing I wrote down, by the way, I should add, if my pronunciation is a little off in all these things that I do, don't write in and complain about it, although no one has, but don't do it because I'm learning. I'm showing a vulnerable side here of me learning French. Instead, join the learning with me. And as Camille says, you shouldn't just go around correcting people. It's not a very good way to help them. Anyway, another 2 things that I've noted here. One totally different reason that I've noticed it is because I think it might be an untranslatable word. The French appear to have one word for airplane window or boat window. You know those little windows? And that word is le hublot. Hublot. Me, I'm obsessed with untranslatable words, and by that I mean when they've got one word in a language that you can't translate into one word in another. A good example, at the risk of going way off topic, is juilletiste, which is someone in France who likes to holiday in July for the whole month, and specifically rather than August. So someone who prefers to holiday in July is a juilletiste. Imagine that. That's for another episode. Lastly, something I just wrote, I jotted it down because I want to say it more. I've heard it before, but I don't think I've ever said it. And it's a way to say, it's a colloquial way to say don't worry. And it's t'inquiète. T'inquiète. I've heard it so many times. Never said it. It should be ne t'inquiète pas, but they typically shorten it to t'inquiète. T'inquiète. T'inquiète, mec. It's the kind of thing I could say on the basketball court when someone said that I've got toilet paper on my head or whatever the heck was going on. Anyway, that's enough for this episode. If you've enjoyed Rebecca Plotnick, go on everydayparisian.com, subscribe, follow her on Instagram, send her a lovely message. If you've enjoyed learning French with French Today, go and buy an audiobook, frenchtoday.com/earful4. Send a lovely message to Camille. It's really nice to send nice messages to people. Makes them feel warm inside. If you've enjoyed the Earful Tower and you like this show, why not consider signing up on Patreon, where you pay a monthly pledge and you get to see all the extra videos and stuff. Why do I ask you to do that when I've still got a sponsor? Well, if more people sign up on Patreon, then I can tell my dad that he doesn't need to support me on Patreon anymore, which would be a big day in Earful Tower history. But Dad, if you listen this far, thanks for your support. Don't even consider going away. As for the rest of you, thanks for listening, and I'll be back on Monday with another episode. As always, au revoir, merci beaucoup.